This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was getting frustrated by your forms. Now, Taxes is uploading your forms with a snap, and a TurboTax expert will do your taxes for you. One who's backed by the latest tech, which cross-checks millions of data points for absolute accuracy, all of which makes it easy for you to get the most money back, guaranteed. Get an expert now at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an gestural implant, 68 milligrams radiopaque. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
So good, so good, so good.
New markdowns up to 70% off are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. Fresh kicks, spring tops, new dresses. There's always a score.
I mean, the denim section is unreal.
Why do I rack? All the dresses.
I always find something amazing.
Head to your Nordstrom Rack store to find can't-miss deals on all the spring things. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Spin, Shuffle, Skip on the There Can Only Be One podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. In times like these, I always like to promote Canadian bands. But if you were a fan of Canadian music, and if you're a Canadian who grew up, when music channels were still playing music, then you watched Muchmusic. You got home from school, you got home from work, you put on Muchmusic. And you got to hear a wide selection of all these great bands. And then 1996 rolls around and Muchmusic puts out Big Shiny Tunes. And this is the compilation collection that changed everyone's CD book. You know those CD books, the one with like the little plastic slots so you keep it in your car because that's where you put the good CDs. Big Shiny Tunes was definitely one of those good CDs. And here to join me for this little trip down CanCon Road, Lyle Robishaw's back on the show. Lyle, how you doing, man?
I am doing fantastic. And yeah, it's definitely the time for some Maple Leaf Muscle up in here right now. Yes.
So Big Shiny Tunes 1. And there were a few of these. If I remember correctly, I think there was like 17 of the Big Shiny Tunes.
Yeah, they got almost to 20. They got almost to 20 before everyone just kind of slowly switched to iTunes.
Yeah. But still, these discs were like everything. And I remember too, like back in the day, I used to DJ as well. And Big Shiny Tunes was always like, just leave it in the CD player, go back to another disc and then go back to, because there were enough songs on there to keep the party going all night long.
100%. Like you look through all of the discography here and you see it's basically a time capsule of every year.
Oh yeah. So let's give you that snapshot here. The album was released December 3rd, 1996, and featured a good mix of Canadian and worldwide artists. Tell me this doesn't sound like 1996 to you. I'm Mother Earth, Bush, when in Canada they had to be known as Bush X, Porno for Pyros, Garbage, Marilyn Manson, Fun Lovin' Criminals, No Doubt, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Sloan, Better Than Ezra, Limb Lifter, Foo Fighters, Moist, Radiohead, The Killjoys, Poe, Pluto, and back. That is the most 1996 that ever 1996.
It is. It really is. It is the most, like I said, it's a time capsule. If you ever want to know what was going on in a given year, look up the Big Shiny Tunes of that year and it gives you a good idea.
Oh yeah. And just to give you an idea of how big this was, this compilation is 3 times platinum in Canada. And this was how you discovered new artists back in the 90s, right? You got the compilation CDs because there were artists on here that you wouldn't normally go out of your way to listen to, but they're on the disc. So you give it a spin.
Yeah. And I miss these kinds of things because I do think with the benefit of streaming, we've lost out on the compilation album a little bit. Like now you get greatest hits from people and stuff like that, but gone is that discovery. If you want to truly discover new bands, you have to go down the rabbit hole and sit on Spotify for 2 or 3 hours and like go through your For You page and pick and choose. With this, you got to sit down, they curated it for you. You didn't have to like mess around with it. All of it was all killer, no filler.
Oh yeah. And this CD had tons of killers. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this very Canadian compilation and pick 3 songs each, a spin, a shuffle, and a skip. So Lyle, I'm going to toss this over to you, hand you the maple leaf, and ask you what your spin pick is off of Big Shiny Tunes 1.
As one of the East Coast representatives, you know it has to be The Good in Everyone by Sloan. If it's not, my friend Joseph Whalen, who you've had on the show talking about Sloan, will hunt me down in my sleep and probably kill me. But this is honestly, for me, I've listened to a lot of Sloan. This is one of their best songs. Also kind of an outlier on the disc. It's less futuristic sounding than a lot of the things in 1996 sounded like. So I just love this song so much. I love the entire album that it's on. So it's The Good in Everyone.
I'm trying to remember because it's been a bit since that Sloan episode. And by the way, you can go back onto our website at notthatbadcast.com. Go to the There Can Only Be One page. You can find that Sloan episode and deep dive it. I can't remember if I actually picked this song or not. I know it wasn't my only one. That was The Other Man. The Other Man is still my favorite Sloan song of all time. But you're right. Like mid-90s, early to mid-90s, all the music coming into the Maritimes was just banging. So good. You had Great Big Sea. It was just coming off the heels of April Wine, super white hot popularity, and Trooper. And Sloan, I think, kind of carries the torch now for Maritime music. There's not a lot of newer bands coming out of the Maritimes that make it as big as Sloan did. There are some really good outliers. If you hear my voice, listen to the Motor League from Moncton, New Brunswick. They're so good. But you don't get as much representation as you used to, for sure. I mean, I remember in the 90s, like, bands like JL and the Super Friends and Eric Stripp, they were huge. Sandbox, I'm a Sandbox fan. Freaking love Sandbox. Sandbox
is awesome.
Yeah. But the thing is, and we discussed this on that Sloan episode, you take a look at a band like the Tragically Hip, and here was a band that really carried the Canadian flag high and sang songs that were very much about Canada. And if you're looking for a band that kind of picks up that flag where Gord Downie left it and continues to carry it on, Sloan might be that band that has that level. Between Sloan and Blue Rodeo, you're probably looking at two of the most Canadiana bands out there.
You're 100% correct. And much to the chagrin of that friend Joseph I mentioned before, I am actually not a big Blue Rodeo guy, but I am a huge Sloan Tragically Hip person. And I agree. Sloan is like diet Tragically Hip.
Yeah.
It doesn't, there's a little more pop rock to it and a little less of the deep cutting poetry from Gord, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's like almost like Tragically Hip songwriting with Northern Pikes-esque vocals.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Which also Northern Pikes, fantastic. Unfortunately, the Northern Pikes aren't on this disc, but another Canadian band hits my spin pick with an asterisk. There's a song on here by Moist called Ophelia. Ophelia is my pick off of this. It's my spin pick. Personally, it might even be the best song off of their Creature album. It is so good. Those first two albums from Moist were undeniable. But here's where the asterisk comes into play. Because rather than listen to a playlist made on Spotify or go to YouTube and try to find it, I still have my copy of Big Shiny Tunes. And this is where I had to remind myself that my copy of Big Shiny Tunes on CD is a misprint. Because on my copy, it's not Ophelia. It's another song off the Creature album, Baby Skin Tattoo. So even though the book says Ophelia, my CD has Baby Skin Tattoo. It's still a good song. So I went with the song that was supposed to be on there, Ophelia. Baby Skin Tattoo is still a good song. But I mean, this is strong Moist. Like David Usher's clean, powerful vocals. Like there's some great ear candy from Mark McAway off this. Like, again, those first two Moist albums, because they added, I don't want to say a goth element, but they definitely had like an alt rock, but yet still kind of haunting vibe.
100%. Very huge at the time too. Unfortunately, Moist has kind of been lost to time a little bit. Not as big now as they were, but such a good band if you're willing to dive into the discography a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Mercedes 5 and Dime came out in 1999, and it just didn't have the punch of Creature or Silver, but they are still together. They actually put out an album in 2022 called End of the Ocean, and it's pretty damn good too. There's some great songs on there, including a song called Tarantino, Bullet Kill Sex Love Thrill. gets you back to like that classic moist kind of sound. So if you're into it, go deep dive into the later albums of Moist. I still like Mercedes 5 and Dime for what it was, but it was definitely also the lead into David Usher's solo career.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Walmart. New beauty is in bloom at Walmart, and it's all about springtime radiance. From Drybar, Tula Skincare, and hundreds more available online, Walmart has the premium brands you want and this season's on-trend products for flawless, glossy hair and hydrated skin. Big name beauty brands? Check. The things you love? Check. Find trending spring beauty and all you need to look and feel gorgeous at Walmart, on app and online.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
All right. For my shuffle pick, I'm stepping out of Canada for a second, but a band that had to be renamed for Canada specifically. I'm talking about Bush X and Machine Head.
Yes.
This was the mid-90s. This song was very much the mid-90s. First of all, this compilation turns 30 next year. So don't want to make us feel old here for a second.
And yeah, that makes that because I'm turning 30 this year.
Yep. So
for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for me.
Yep. But I mean, this song still holds today. 16 Stone was a front to back, all killer, no filler. You cannot go wrong with any song on that disc. And now that I'm starting to play Come Down off of this, although a slightly different version of Come Down with a band New Omen, Machine Head is just one of those, like, literally, it's a punch you in the face song.
It is, and it's been used in almost, I think, every major sport at this point for a hype package at one point or another, still to this day. WWE's used it. NHL's used it. Everybody knows that if you need something to get the crowd going, it's Machine Head.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to bring them down, you play Glycerine. I get it.
Yeah, it's true.
But no, Machine Head is definitely, this was arena rock in the mid 90s. And still to this day, Bush is still on the road and killing it. Absolutely.
I believe they just were touring with Creed, which is the perfect hand-in-hand matchup, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got to see them here in Toronto with Candlebox opening because, of course, I was going to go because it's Candlebox. And I literally went for Candlebox, but Bush was there, and Bush is good, so you can't go wrong.
It's just party rock at its finest, which you love to see. There's not enough of that nowadays. Rock for the sake of fun rock. Everybody's trying to be deep, or everybody's trying to be experimental, or kind of reinvent the wheel. The wheel is the wheel for a reason.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, this feels like the litmus test. Or if you want to see how old someone is, just hold up this disc, the 16 Stone album, and ask someone which band does it. If they say Bush, they're probably in their 20s. If they say Bush X, they're old like me. And they're Canadian. All right, over to you, Lyle, for your shuffle pick.
See, it's funny because I had Machine Head as my honorable mention because I couldn't bear to not talk about it. So I'm glad you picked it as the shuffle, because it was my, like, 1A position shuffle. But unfortunately, I absolutely had to go with Just a Girl by No Doubt, because No Doubt is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's their discography is incredible. Of course, it's Gwen Stefani, amazing singer. I've gotten the chance to see her live, and it's a party in every respect when you go to see her or No Doubt live. She always does No Doubt stuff if she performs solo. Funny story, I've seen this song live. So I was at a country music festival and Blake Shelton was playing. And at the end of his set, which was the end of the weekend, he was like, I actually have a guest here with me, and he brings out Gwen Stefani, and she does this song, and it was incredible. It was so fun live. Everybody, even the country fans who you would think would kind of poo-poo this kind of thing, everybody was up. So you've got some real big staying power with No Doubt, I think. So it had to be my shuffle.
Yeah, I was tossing between Machine Head and King of New Orleans from Better Than Ezra because I'm a big Better Than Ezra fan.
That's also an amazing song. It was hard to pick a skip for this.
Yeah, I mean, Friction Baby may not be Better Than Ezra's best CD, but there's still some fantastic songs on it. King of New Orleans is one of them. But yeah, like, think about albums that changed the dial. And Tragic Kingdom from No Doubt does that.
Yes, 100%. Anything off of that is good. One of my favorite King of the Hill episodes are even in that. They cross dimensions for me and all the things that I like.
I'm just looking at this now and I'm realizing this. You go through the There Can Only Be One episode list already. We have done an episode on Sloan, on the Foo Fighters, and on No Doubt. So we're about 3 out of 18 artists off of this disc already that has already been covered on There Can Only Be One.
That's good. That's good. That means you're covering the quality.
Oh, exactly. But the opposite of quality is the skip pick. So, Lyle,
Yes.
What did you go with?
This one was actually easy because there was one song that stuck out like a sore thumb. It's Marilyn Manson's cover of Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. I'm not a Marilyn Manson person. Never have been. I don't get the appeal. I don't understand it. This is not a good cover, I find. I think that it kind of bastardizes a really good song, and it's a very strange outlier on the disc. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's probably going to be my skip, but I'll give it a listen. Maybe it's incredible, and I'm just, being stereotypical about it. But no, I really did not like this cover at all.
See, I've found new passion for this song, and I say that now because I'm playing this live, but I'm doing a mashup with this song where we'll get halfway through, and then we'll break into Seven Nation Army, and then we'll come back to Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. So having a little bit of fun with
That's a crazy matchup. Those are two songs you would not think would be anywhere close to each other.
And yet it works.
All right, here's Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 with Enter Sandman. Let's go. Like it doesn't make sense on paper, but I bet it would be great.
I'm trying to picture it right now if that would work. I need some like AI program that will mash up Dolly Parton and
there
Metallica.
has to be. That's the next thing. We got to start doing a mashup show.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You see all these videos now. I saw one recently where it was like someone took Jet City Woman from Queensrÿche, but they put like a Motown sound behind it. And I'm like, why is this working?
I've seen the Johnny Cash as a rapper one where AI put Johnny Cash's voice over rap albums. I don't know why, but it works so well and it makes me angry. I don't understand it. Like it hurts my brain, but I love it at the same time.
There is a YouTube channel out there called There I Ruined It, and they have done.
I think it was him.
Yeah,
I think it might have been him that I saw that from.
Yeah, if you ever want to break your brain, go check out the bluegrass version of System of a Down's Chop Suey.
Oh my God, I can see why that would work though. I can see why that would work.
Complete with pig squeal. It is the best and worst thing you'll see all day.
Amazing. That's amazing.
See, I knew right off the bat what my skip pick was off of this one. And I say that because again, remember with these episodes, I speak from personal opinion. So if you're a Perry Farrell fan, I'm not holding this against you. I'm not a Porno for Pyros guy. I'm not a Jane's Addiction guy. Tahitian Moon has some good parts in it, but it feels like two different songs that got scotch taped together.
Yeah, it really does. It feels like they didn't know what they were trying to go with there.
But I mean, I still remember because I've seen Jane's Addiction live. I did. It was a very surreal concert because it was shortly after 9/11, and Jane's Addiction was touring with Live opening. And Live came out and kind of met the moment. They did an acoustic set, and it was very stripped down and raw. And like, this was only a month after 9/11. And they really kind of, they kind of touched on like the group feel at that point. But then Jane's Addiction comes out and there's like big circus show and all the lights going. I'm like, this is not this. The live performance was fantastic. I left halfway through Jane's Addiction. I'm like, I can't. I just
Did you
can't.
at least stay for the only good song they've made, Been Caught Stealing? Because I do like that song.
It's an okay song, but I left.
It seems like the energy wasn't correct. An acoustic set followed up by okay, random bull go, and it's like, yeah, that doesn't track.
But that's the thing. Sometimes music can fit right in the pocket for the national mood at the time, or like the collective mood. Live hit that moment and hit that moment well. Then Jane's Addiction completely ruins the moment.
Yeah. And I understand what you mean too, because I know after 9/11, country music surged in popularity because it is very Americana, and there is a lot of like, we're the USA, screw you kind of thing. And yeah, so I can see how in immediately post after that, following up an acoustic set dedicated to that with this huge, like you said, circus like performance. I'm picturing when I saw Kiss, I'm assuming it was something kind of akin to that.
Yeah, but not as good music.
Yeah, the Kiss show was one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life. That was amazing.
But I mean, like, even if you take a look at the halftime performance from the Super Bowl post 9/11, that was U2. And that whole performance, I know people are going to sit there and say like maybe Prince was like the best halftime performance, and it's hard to argue with that one. But I think for meeting the moment, U2 maybe had the most appropriate halftime show ever in Super Bowl history.
They did do a really, really good one. I recently went back and watched most of them. Is that your favorite one?
It's hard to say, because I mean, I did enjoy Bruce Springsteen's.
Mine, crazy enough, will probably be Lady Gaga for a while. Lady Gaga's was really freaking good. And after her, man, Dr. Dre's with the assembling of like the Rap Avengers was pretty incredible as well.
Also, Rap Avengers should be a band name somehow.
That should be, and it should be that exact group, because that was for just like aura and star power. I think his was one of the best.
Yeah. If Jane's Addiction does the halftime show, I mean, not that Jane's Addiction will get back together ever again, because anyone who saw those videos out there,
yeah, like, that's done.
Yeah, that's an implosion and a half on stage.
Yeah, that's over. That's well and truly done.
Yeah. If Wes Scanlon's looking at that, he's going, man, that's guys.
You know there's an issue.
Yeah. All right, Lyle, remind our listeners what your spin, shuffle, and skip picks are from Big Shiny Tunes 1.
My spin, the good old East Coast lifestyle. It's got to be The Good in Everyone by Sloan. Shuffle, I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt, but with an honorable mention to Machine Head by Bush X. You have to. My skip, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by Marilyn Manson.
And for me, my spin pick comes from the opposite side of the country, Ophelia by Moist, even if I have to go with my misprint of a CD with Baby Skin Tattoo. My shuffle is Machine Head from Bush/Bush X, and my skip is Tahitian Moon. Lyle, thank you so much for this. Let our listeners know where they can find you out there on the interwebs.
You can find me on Instagram at Lyle.R11. And of course, I work for Anthem Sports Entertainment. We do OVW and CNA wrestling. So tune in every Thursday for an entire day of amazing wrestling programming.
All right, dear listeners, you guys know the drill. If there is an album that you want us to cover on Spin, Shuffle, Skip, or an artist that you want us to cover on There Can Only Be One, even one of the ones we haven't touched on yet from Big Shiny Tunes, hit us up on social media at OnlyOneCast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you check out our movie shows, including It's Not That Bad, Keep Watch Pass, and Grading on a Curve. Until next time, he's Lyle, I'm Jay, you guys are awesome. This is Spin, Shuffle, Skip on the There Can Only Be One podcast channel. Take care.